I grew up in the country. We didn't have cable TV, but like the show Chips, California Highway Patrol on motorcycles. But his bike is beat up and it's a newer bike.
No.
And he's grizzly. And I was like, hey man, so we had lunch. I'm like, what you do? Tried to merge when I couldn't have merged. You know what I mean?
The bike would have fit here.
When the traffic's backed up, I'll pull out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in a car.
Yeah.
And I can't. Even a couple beers, I was just a little foggy the next morning and wouldn't go ride. And I thought, well, man, now that's the nights. And then I started using motorcycles to like reconnect with people. My daughter, she was my guinea pig. My first paycheck went to a motorcycle so I could ride to work in the ditches. My name is Chris Mara. I've been riding motorcycles since about 1988 when I was 13. And I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
I am in Chris's studio. This is Welcome to 1979, a really, really cool music studio. And I'm going to sit down with him, talk motorcycles, talk his story, where he's been, where he wants to go, bikes he's had, bikes he has, and just hear all about it. So thanks for joining us. We're going to sit down. You sit down, grab some popcorn, and join us. Welcome to Bike and Rider. So tell me what happened at 13 that you got on a motorcycle. How did that work out?
You know, it was, I grew up in northern Wisconsin, which is very rural.
Yeah.
I mean, the town I grew up in was 800 people, and I was only 4 miles out of town, but lived on a dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're 13, the only job you can really get is milking cows on a farm. So I got a job, and it was like 3 miles away. So instead of walking there, which I did, my first paycheck went to a motorcycle so I could ride to work in the ditches.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I've always wanted a motorcycle, so it just kind of started
Really?
from there. Yeah.
Do you remember how far back you wanted a motorcycle?
Man, it's like one TV is any
Marketing.
movie, any TV
Yeah.
show. It's like the dude on the motorcycle is just so badass.
Yeah.
And then growing up, we'd go on camping trips, so there's a lot of driving, and you're staring out the window and you see people on motorcycles, and you're like, that looks cool.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like just seeing other people and then that knowing.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much it cost you or what bike it was?
Yeah, exactly. It was a 1980 Honda XR80, so a 4-stroke 80cc. It was $200.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so my first paycheck went to it, and I rode that thing like you wouldn't believe. Yeah.
How long did that last?
Couple years. I outgrew it. When you're 13, you're one size, and then when you're 14, you're a different size.
Oh yeah, you grow up fast in that time
And
frame.
I bought it more for I could afford it, and I knew the guy selling it. And then the next bike I bought was probably too big, which was a Honda XR350R, which was like the off-road bike.
Yeah.
It was a single cylinder dual carb, just crazy big. And I weighed like 112 pounds.
Man.
So to kickstart that thing, it would throw me off a lot.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. It was fun. Yeah, and then I sold that to go to college. So
that's cool.
yeah.
Oh man. That's riding as a kid. It builds all the essential skills so early that help you later on. And I was able to get on a bike at like 18, 19,
Okay.
but I always knew.
Yeah, and I think at that age, your brain isn't fully formed, so you're not afraid of anything, so you just do it.
Yeah.
Then you learn the skill before you're afraid. I think it would be, because I remember when I got back into riding, the like I can die thing was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it took me a minute to kind of like get over that, being on the road and,
Your 350 is that's like a dirt bike, right?
Totally. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So did you ride it for fun?
Yeah. That's all it was. Oh,
okay.
Totally.
I didn't know if you're just like commuting with it.
No, it was a dirt bike. I mean, it had a headlight and speedometer, but it wasn't street legal.
Yeah.
And in Wisconsin, you just dirt roads, just go. It doesn't
everywhere.
matter.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, a friend of mine had a bike, and I was like, I'd love to learn. He said, yeah, just hop on it. was a 450 dirt bike, like this
Mhm.
massive,
Yeah.
tall bike. And he's like, yeah, just let the clutch out real slow. And I dumped it and dropped the bike 2 or 3 times. And then he got called and had to leave or something. And I was looking back, it's like that big of a bike for a kid is just unreal. Even as an adult weighing 215
Yeah.
pounds,
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
this
a big
bike
bike.
is a lot.
Yeah.
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 So you went and shred some dirt trails or what?
Just dirt roads, and then that's how I just got to my friend's house.
Okay.
You know, was just riding the road. I don't say street, but
So when somebody asks you what kind of bikes you ride, does your brain like auto default to dirt? Like, I'm a dirt guy?
no. It's mainly. I mean, I only had dirt bikes for probably 4 years when I was in high school,
Okay.
4 or 5, and then I went to college. I moved here, and then I got a street bike
Okay.
to commute. You know,
How long was that gap between selling your bike to go to college and then finding your way into another one?
probably 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
And then I bought an older Honda. I always wanted a Triumph, but I couldn't afford it. So I bought like an older Honda CB450 and just rode around Nashville till I get to work and stuff. It was kind of just a fun way to get around.
Yeah.
But even then, this is in the mid 90s, even then it was a pretty tourist town.
Yeah.
And I quickly learned that tourism and attentive driving don't really go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I just didn't ride it as much,
I see.
as a commuter.
Yeah.
And it wasn't big enough my bike to take on trips.
I see.
So, yeah.
Yeah. In those earlier years, it seems most of us aren't thinking trips yet.
True. And I didn't have the money or the time either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's kind of like a limited view.
Yep.
Until that view is expanded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
So, did you keep that bike, or what'd you move into from there? Like,
I had that bike forever. It's so funny. I just sold it last month.
really?
Yeah.
Last month.
And it was such a fun thing. I had it right here for years. You can see the oil stains
Wow.
as a prop in the control room or in my studio.
That would have been so perfect, right?
Yeah. But it was so fun to have that bike through those 20 some years, because when I got it, I was so broke, dude. I was so broke. Like, if it needed a battery,
Yeah.
I couldn't get a battery. I just had to kickstart it for years. And then, you know what I mean? Because the battery was like $70,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in my early 20s starting, trying to get
Just trying to get by.
And then if it needed a part, there was this huge ragtag motorcycle graveyard right on First Avenue in Nashville.
Okay.
And you would go there and just walk through and find a part, pull it, and then go and like negotiate with the guy and buy it. So I
Right.
was buying, like, it needed coils and all this. I couldn't afford new ones because then the only place you could buy Honda parts was from Honda,
Yeah.
right? There wasn't all these
Used
aftermarket.
aftermarket.
Yeah. And then during COVID, I think my kids and we just needed a project, and so I grabbed it out of here, took it home. It's a twin cylinder Honda. It didn't run. And I just went online and bought a whopping $300 worth of parts, which was everything I needed, which was so funny. It was like, oh, just do it. Didn't even think about it. Not that $300 isn't a lot of money, but it didn't even, right? I bought a battery, coils, condenser,
Yeah. It
spark
seems
plugs.
so simple now.
Yes. And it felt, I don't want to say achievement, but it really it gave me a lot of perspective on my life,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then the best part of it is I took the gas tank off, and then I gave each kid a cylinder and a carb. So I have, they were 13 and 14 at the time, my daughter and son.
Okay.
And they each did a carburetor, carb kit, put it on. They each put a condenser on and a coil, spark plug, all that battery, did it together.
Yeah.
Put the gas tank on. I grabbed my phone,
Gotta
hit record.
it,
I said,
yes.
all right,
Yeah.
hit start. And it started right up. I mean, we
Wow.
all just lost our mind. It like turned over and fired up.
That's so building,
Yeah.
like, of their confidence and
Yeah.
ability, and like,
Yeah. I had the shot manual. We just did it. It's like
That's
carb
crazy.
kit, you know, and it was just a lot of fun. And then it was it was a 1973 bike. So it just, even though I put brakes on it, it just never really was one you could ride.
Mm.
Because the more you rode it, then those clutch cable brakes and all this kind
yeah,
of stuff.
stuff just starts
And
falling off.
it was just in the garage. And I said, you know what? Because now like the early 70s CBs are what people buy and like
Yeah.
restore. It's like, this should be somebody's new thing. I'm getting frustrated with it. I can't really ride it. I have an eye on an adventure bike. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I sold it to a kid who wanted to put some money into it. And I said, okay. I said, I think $500 will get it running good all the time.
Yeah.
Because I had it running, but it wouldn't run great all the time.
Yeah.
I said, but you could spend a couple more grand on it to get it. I mean, just, you know, you can
Do
spend
what you want to it.
stupid amount of money on
Yeah.
any bike. And I think he went on the top end.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but great, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I've got an old Sportster, and I've put way too much money and time, and lost a lot of patience through it. I'm still trying to rehome that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, it took an immense amount of work to get to that level of like, I feel confident putting this on the road that I'm not just going to like break down in 20 miles.
Right.
Or
Right.
like just break down somewhere for whatever. And I reached that level, and then I went and rode it and ran out of gas. It's like, it doesn't have the range.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so it was just kind of ironic, but I totally get where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
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 After so much, you're like, somebody who really wants to care for this needs to have it, not me.
Yeah. Exactly.
I got other things to do.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just like, I don't have the big, you know, like display of bikes. It's like, you know, I want to ride every one I have. And that was taking up space.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And I had it a long time.
So what do you have now?
I have a 2000 Indian Chief.
Okay.
And I have a 2014 Triumph Bonneville Sport Edition, a special edition. I have a 1984 BMW R80 that's been bobbed. That's totally awesome. I have a 2016 BMW RT 1200. And then I had my newest one, I sold that Honda to get a 2016 KTM 1190 Adventure R, which reminds me of that XR 350. It's just that much too big for me.
Yeah.
But man, it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bike.
It is.
Just like the 350.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just feels like,
yeah.
you know, I'm not sure who's in control, which is kind of fun.
That's a great one. I hadn't heard that yet.
Dancing with a bear.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh,
So-
that's really good.
Yeah.
So if somebody approaches you, says, you know, well, you like to ride? What kind of bike you ride? What would you say?
I say I hit all the food groups, is what I say.
Okay.
Because I used to have a Ducati Panigale as well. So I have the sport bikes. But what I love about being on one bike is people will give you a look. Like if I'm on my Indian, a sport bike person will give me a look like, you know, you don't really ride sport bikes. And I'm like, I've got a Ducati at home. Or, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Or if I'm on a
yeah.
Beamer, you know, the Beamer jokes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, well, you know, I've got, you know, a big, you know, V twin at home too. So
Right.
that I work on. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. And that's
So-
kind of why I was asking, is to see if you really put yourself in a certain category, because obviously you're pretty diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of that happening now, is in the, like, people just aren't getting too sucked into like, I belong to this kind of
Correct.
I belong to dirt, I belong to cruiser. People are just not so limited in their sites anymore,
Mhm.
as what I'm kind of seeing and finding.
Yeah.
Like myself.
Yeah. I read a really interesting article about, it was focused on like how hard these larger motorcycle companies are that they're having a rough time selling bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And the theory was that people aren't buying that one keystone piece that is their life.
Yeah.
You know, they're buying motorcycles that accessorize their life,
Mm-hmm.
which is me. You know, I'm buying 10-year-old bikes that I can afford,
Yeah.
and I want different experiences from these bikes.
Right.
The Triumph Bonneville is
Mhm.
not a, you know, a RT. They're different. I'm
Yeah.
doing different types of riding on them and having a different experience.
My questions through my interviews have changed because early on I thought I'll ask each person like what's their kind of unicorn bike that
Right,
they
right.
they go after or want. And I was constantly getting this answer of like, well, it depends on what I'm doing.
True.
Like there is no one bike that does all of it great.
Right. And financially speaking, if you took all those bikes, the money I spent on them, put them in a pile, I think I could buy a new Harley. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Probably not. So,
I don't know that you'd want to buy a new Harley.
but I'm just
But-
saying, I'm
but,
taking, because a lot of
about-
people
yeah.
misunderstand that, okay, I have 5 bikes. Oh, I must
I
have
see what you're saying.
200 grand in
They
my
bought
garage.
all of them new.
Yeah. Or they're the top, you know, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
no, they're great bikes, great values. But,
But you did it so it didn't cost you an arm and a leg.
correct.
And so you could be more diverse.
Yep.
Instead of
Purposely. And I said, I want, you know, I kind of set out and said, I want these food groups. I want, you know.
Yeah. Kind of looking back, I know you talked about having seen other riders like out on the road and
Mhm.
kind of being inspired by that. Was there any person or like particular movie that you found that was like inspiring, maybe a person in your life or something like that?
It's a really good question. You know, I think my dad he liked getting out in the country. We'd go camping. So there's that aspect of like, you know, you have a hard week and you want to pack stuff up and go in the woods,
Yeah.
you know, and we had a camper and everything. But still, that kind of like, this is what getting away means.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of planted in there. My older brother bought a motorcycle briefly. That was kind of cool. It's like, oh, you can just buy these things, you know. And then I'm going to sound corny, but man, the show, this is like an 1980s like TV show. Because I grew up in the country. We didn't have cable TV.
Okay.
And actually they outlawed it for a while. Anyway, but like the show Chips.
Okay.
Like,
I don't know it.
I know. It's
Not gonna know it.
It's an 80s. Just, you'll love it. It's so bad, but good. It's California Highway Patrol on motorcycles.
Okay.
So these guys are just like ride bikes all day long. It's pretty fun. But you just like get home from school and you watch that and you're like, that's freaking, one, it's California. Never
Yeah.
been there. 2, it's motorcycles. So
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But then you would see the person on a bike with their like sleeping bag
Mhm.
and everything, and you're like, wow, I can't even like, or the real dirty bike that's been on a trip. It's like, how do
Yeah.
you do that? You know what I
Where's
mean?
that thing been?
Yeah.
That looks.
How does that all work?
Yeah.
You know, as a kid.
Huh.
So.
Okay. You said when you were younger, you didn't really take any trips, but obviously as a kid, you know, you saw a little bit of people traveling
Mhm,
on
mhm,
bikes.
mhm.
When did that come in, and what was like the first trip out that you made?
Well, that was kind of spurred on by COVID, because I bought my Indian motorcycle to kind of start riding more with the goal of like taking like long trips,
Okay.
which I had never done before. I was always a quick little hour or two
Yeah.
ride guy.
Yeah.
Commute.
So this was about 2020 then?
No,
21.
yeah. So I bought that bike probably 2018, 2019, I think.
Okay.
And then, you know, started taking like day trips and got my butt kind of used to it. And
It does take some conditioning.
yeah, just, you know, and it's a, you know, I'm doing this because everything is actually cable pull. There's no hydraulic clutch.
Okay.
Anyway, And then when COVID hit, this is a recording studio. It's my living. People come here to record together in one room or
Yeah.
one studio, one building. That all went away. So it was like there's nothing going on here. And I was like, well, it's depressing to come here and there's nothing going on.
Yeah. Especially when that's your livelihood.
Yeah. And there's nothing I can do about it. So why pace around? And I said, I just kind of talked to my wife and business partners. I'm just going to just take off for like 5 days and plan a trip and do camping. And I went in the attic and got like a sleeping bag, put it in a trash bag. You know what I mean?
What works?
I got our tent,
Yeah.
our family tent, it looked like, I just had bungee cords and I just booked Hip Camp. We were talking about Hip Camp.
Yeah.
And because the state parks were closed.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of that.
And I just turned it into an adventure. It's like, let's see if I can take 5 days and not go in a building. Instead of, you can't go in a building, I'm not going to go in a building.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do it. Pay at the pump,
Right.
and it was a blast. Just knowing you could spend a week on a bike.
Yeah.
Was pretty awesome. And then it was just like, then I found out like building any business, I think, or recording studio specifically is what equipment do I need? How does it work together? What's the best piece? Well, then that was my camping kit.
Started putting all that together.
And
camping.
Yeah.
Just
to kind of keep something going on. It was fun.
That's cool.
Then you discover Jetboil and da-da-da and da-da-da and
it just keeps going.
titanium spoons.
Oh, right. Yeah. I've thought about titanium tools.
Yeah, I know. And it's just all that stuff and like what do I need? And it was so much fun because then another COVID trip we did as a family was we rented just for fun. I'm like, let's just rent the biggest RV we can. The big, and we did it for like 4 days and we picked it up, took it to Costco and we're like loading all this stuff in there. And I was just laughing. It's like last week I had like, 4 cans of soup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're just like loading.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
Probably overloading.
Yeah. And we had the same amount of fun. So
That's great.
Yeah.
So what's the best trip that you've done yet on a motorcycle?
I've got like 2 categories. I'll try to keep this answer short. Solo trips, which took a lot of getting used to. I'm a real social person and like being alone. And then all of a sudden I got kind of liked that.
Interesting.
And then I started using motorcycles to like reconnect with people. So my daughter, I didn't have to reconnect with her, but she was my guinea pig. I was like, we're going to fly to LA. We're going to fly to Portland, Oregon, rent a bike and ride down to San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
So then that whole, like, what are we going to bring? Like, wear your riding jacket and your boots and carry your helmet and you have a backpack.
On the plane.
Yeah. And then, like, walk up to a bike I've never ridden, with my daughter.
Yeah.
And then ride it for 5 days. So what I enjoyed the most about that trip is, 1, doing it, and she was into it. And 2, so our helmets have communications. I would go in to like pay for gas and I would hear her side of a conversation where someone walked up to her and asked her, obviously it's a father-daughter ride because she was like 13.
Okay.
It was very apparent it was father-daughter, right? Now she's 17. It could be like, who knows? Anyway, but I hear her say, oh, it's a BMW. No, he doesn't ride a Harley. All these kind of like, and she just knew it.
Questions.
Yeah, she just knew the bike and knew what we were doing. And then the following year we flew into LA and rode to San Francisco.
Okay.
And rented a GS. And we stopped in like Big Sur. And I went in to use the bathroom at a bar and I came out and like 4 guys and 2 girls were talking to my daughter in a semicircle. And she's like, no, it's a GS this time. We did an RT. And, I didn't walk all the way out. I just kind of stopped and just watched.
Just kind of soak it up.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Because we go through situations like that, and honestly, I've never thought much of it. but to see our kids in that is like, I can see why you would put that at the top of your list. You know, there's so much value in that experience, and then watching your kid maybe living something that you've been living for a while, and just kind of being in the moment. That's magical.
Yeah, and you know, we do a lot of road trips as a family because we live in Nashville. Both my wife and I's family are from northern Wisconsin, which is 13-hour drive.
Yeah.
And riding in a car is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
People on the phones, they're sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
they're not wanting to talk. There's radio going. On a bike, there's no phones, your helmets connect, and she just we just chit-chatted for hours. And then she'd be like, I'm gonna listen to a podcast, or you know, and then she'd flip over, and then I'd hear her like chime in, like boop. She'd be like, I'm back. I'm like, hey, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
my daughter's only 8, but I picked her up from school back when she was like six, and we had we didn't have comms in the helmet then. This is like a 5-minute ride home. She fell asleep on the back of the bike on the ride home, and I was like, no. I was like, why are you leaning? Quit leaning that way. And then I kind of looked down, and I see her just, I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
That was very scary. But, you know, kids used to falling asleep in the car.
Yeah, totally.
Doing road trips. And it's like, this is a different situation, kid. You're going to have to stay awake. But my daughter's super social, so having the comms in the helmet now, it changed everything for her. So she feels like it's something she's doing instead of something she's like been backed into a corner.
True.
Made do.
Yeah.
She enjoys it. Yeah. But having that aspect, even so, we just did a trip. We spent 5 days together. Even having comms between friends on the bikes is just changes the whole experience.
It really does. Yeah.
Really upgrades the experience. It's great without it, but you add that into it, and it's just so good. You laugh together, and you know what's going on with the other person. You don't have to stop all the time. But sorry, I'm getting pulling out into to my world, my experiences.
No.
Need to come back to you, man.
It's so much fun when technology heightens an experience.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And what I also enjoy about one motorcycle, sometimes 2 people, is people will walk up to you and just start talking to you. I didn't see that on our group ride at all, because you're in a group.
Yes.
And then I took off on Friday, and every time I stopped, somebody came up and said something to me.
Really?
Yeah.
How
outside
interesting.
my hotel room, I pulled in the Tail of Dragon, and someone walked up to me and said, you know, you got the dirtiest bike here. Where, you know, what's you've
going
been?
on? Yeah.
And then on these rides where I've invited like my cousin Tammy and my mom and that, they're like, people just talk to you. I'm like, no, it's just people see, this is my interpretation of what's happening. People see 2 people on a bike with a Tennessee plate and we're in Illinois. They want to know the story.
Yeah.
They want to tell you that they used to ride.
Always.
But they want to talk to you because, and maybe
you can relate.
Well, and maybe this is a bit of an ego thing, but they want to know what you're doing. They want to hear about it because they wish they were doing it. Parentheses, doing it again or whatever. But my cousin Tam was like, people come up to you all the time at the gas pump. It's like, I said, it's a bike thing, you know, because you wouldn't walk up to somebody in a car and say, where are you headed? That's weird.
Right.
You know?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And I again saw an article where somebody said it's so much easier for someone to walk up to you on a bike because they see everything.
Yes.
There's no trunk with a hatchet in it, or do you know what I mean? I'm, you know, there's no hidden danger.
But there's no barriers either.
True.
And a car is very much a safe space.
Yep.
You roll your windows up, and this says like, "This is my space. Like, don't invade me."
True.
And on a bike, it's like, I'm vulnerable, I'm present, and there's no barrier there to just like cut people off. So it's far more welcoming.
Yeah.
And
I've got a story to tell. most likely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
A lot of the time.
Mhm.
If people approach me and they don't have something to tell me that they did, they've got something that they want to, some kind of advice they want to give me.
Oh, okay.
Most recently, I realized that this guy started asking me questions, and I briefly answered him, but I could tell he really didn't have an interest in talking to me. He wanted to tell me to be careful.
Oh, that's
He wanted
nice.
to tell me slow down. He wanted
Yeah.
to tell me, like, we want you alive. Like, just don't
Mhm.
die. Save yourself. And I got the message, but I could very clearly tell that he didn't want to talk to me. He just wanted to get that out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you wouldn't walk up to someone pumping gas in their car and say, "Hey, drive safe.
Right.
Watch out for other cars."
Don't play with your lighter at the pump. Like,
Right? Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't say
But
any
yeah.
of that.
But I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It was a great approach.
Yeah. I usually just flick them off and don't mind my own business. No, I'm kidding.
Wheelie away. So a lot of years riding. You started in '88 or thereabout.
Mhm.
Have you had any accidents along the way?
Just one, which is kind of crazy because I know there's different buckets, but I think I
Yeah.
ride a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not 1,000 mile a day for 10 days straight guy, but I ride, and um, and I've only been in one accident, and my poor wife was with me. She really wants to like motorcycle riding, but doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we go on a trip, it either rains or something. And the only accident I've been in was with her on the bike.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And it was just one of those things where we were in Key West. So Key West is like Highway 1 comes down, and then it hits a T intersection at Key West, and you can either go right or left.
Okay.
And I went right, and I should have went left. So then I went about a half mile, turned around, came back,
Mm-hmm.
and I was coming up to the same intersection, and there's like a whole line of cars waiting to turn left, and then an open lane, and then hotels on the right. And I
Okay.
said, somebody's going to cut through this line. So I slowed to like 15 miles an hour,
Just being smart. Good call.
and we're on a rented Indian Chief full gear, you know,
Okay.
and somebody cut through literally 10 feet in front of me, hit the brakes, and just hit them hard enough where Yoli, my wife, came off the bike. She just was standing on the street, and the bike was rideable, and the guy we hit was a complete a-hole.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And all this kind of stuff. But we're fine. Just pulled the fender off the front tire, rode it for the next 4 days.
Okay.
But that was the only accident, and it was just high traffic area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's good.
yeah. Yeah.
I meet very few people that have such a subtle, or I mean, when it's an accident and you know it's serious, you know it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't call it an accident if there wasn't a seriousness about the situation.
Right.
Like the half a dozen times or dozen times we went down on our trip was in dirt. Like those don't count
No,
because
yeah.
they weren't. There was nothing serious going on there. So, but the level of damage and experience, I just meet so few people that have spent that many years and much miles on motorcycle that I think it's fantastic. You
Mhm.
haven't encountered anything that's like life changing.
Correct. Yeah, and
That's,
I don't know if there's like a clock ticking or what.
Yeah,
You know,
none of us do. We pray that
you know,
there isn't.
you know, but I don't ride at night hardly at all. I really make sure. That's what I liked about our ride. You know, I'm guessing Ward's main concern was deer and stuff about getting us to camp at a certain time.
Yeah,
You know, I really watched the twilight hours because deer is like a huge deal.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
um,
Deer and bikes don't go well together.
no, and I think interstate riding is a lot more safe than like I'll change if I'm doing a ride and you know use map to avoid highways and you're on these nice highways in the middle of nowhere and then you get into a town,
Mhm.
I'll hit the interstate,
Okay. Yes.
you know,
yeah.
for that 30 minutes,
Mhm.
you know, just to avoid all the stoplights, all the high congestion,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Blend into the background kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So Yeah.
I've had a bunch of accidents. All of them. I can't think of one that was brought on by somebody else though.
Okay. Okay. Self-inflicted.
Like
Okay.
all self-inflicted,
All right.
which kind of points at the kind of person I am, though. You know, always
Yeah.
kind of pushing the limits.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to dive into my stories.
No, but I've been very fortunate and no injuries on
Right.
that. You know, I think Yoli had some bruises, but didn't notice them till later. You know,
What did she think about that? Like, what after that? Like, did y'all talk about it? And like, what did she pull from that experience?
I think, you know, we talked a little bit about it, and I was just kind of upset that it had happened to her because, you know, we haven't really had an awesome ride at that point. You
Yeah.
know, there's always something weird. We both agreed that this is going to sound, but the response was accurate
Mm-hmm.
and well
Mm-hmm.
done on my behalf. We didn't tip the bike, I didn't skid, didn't do anything, just braked, and then right at the last minute just let off so I'd hit him square. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was just more about the person's attitude that you know that soured it,
Mm-hmm.
and but that's what insurance is for, and everyone's fine, and you know that kind of thing.
Does
So,
she still ride with you?
yeah,
From
yeah,
time
we've
to
done
time?
some rides, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're starting to figure out like what she likes. So last year we did a ride to the Outer Banks.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't want to do 5 hours or 6 hours a day. I said, and we kind of worked on it. I said, well, why don't I take off on the bike? I'll do interstate to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mhm.
You fly there, I'll pick you up, and we'll do, you know, da-da-da. So we just island hopped, and then I dropped her back off in Raleigh, and she flew home, and
That's cool.
yeah, it was great. It's like, this is all great, you know?
I've been thinking about doing a similar thing with my wife,
Yeah.
but going and kind of visiting the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
driving out there, and then having her fly out and meet me, so she can work, you know,
Yep.
and not have to take off 2 or 3 days just for sitting in the vehicle.
Yeah. And to Yoli, my wife, and a large segment of the population, a motor vehicle is a way to get somewhere. It's not the thing you do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so she's more of it's how you get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to do something when I get there. And I'm like, this is the thing we're doing. We're going to pull into a crappy motel and go to sleep and get up and do it tomorrow. She's like, oof. So I get it, you know. So,
Mhm.
but I think we're going to go for a fall colors ride tomorrow down to Leaper's Fork.
The colors out right now are just beautiful here in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I've got some redemption. Last year I took on a fall colors ride and it was a little too early. So
Okay.
the only color we saw was green.
Uh.
So hopefully tomorrow will be better.
I think it's the right time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little chilly though.
Yeah, totally. But which is why one of the reasons I bought the BMW RT was it's a better touring bike, heated rear seat,
Yeah.
you know, all that kind of stuff. More comfortable for me and a passenger. So
Aside from the fall ride tomorrow,
yes.
do you have any like bucket list type trips that you'd like to take? I think you mentioned
Yeah.
meeting a colleague or a friend.
Yeah. So I
Somewhere.
really want to ride in Europe.
Okay.
I was just in Europe with my wife and some friends on a cruise, and it was just so cool how close everything is there. And I really started to spark into like just like going there and not having a plan,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't my speed at all. I like to have a
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
I'm getting better at it.
Most people do.
Yeah, but it's kind of I'm trying to deconstruct that part of my brain.
That's cool.
But there was one port we pulled into in the ship, and we looked at our map. It's like, wow, we can go to Normandy or Paris, and they're both 2 hours away. And it kind of blew my mind. It's like, to me, those
2
are
hours.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours that way is Normandy Beach, 2 hours that way is Paris.
We could do both.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, if I was over here for a couple weeks on a bike, I could just like 2 hours is like nothing on a bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a pre-breakfast ride.
Yeah.
So I really want to I think bucket list to get specific would be like to fly to Zurich, Switzerland,
Okay.
rent a bike, and then I think like I've already looked at like a 5-day loop would get me into 5 countries.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of go south, west, and then south.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. Get in the Alps, getting some serious mountains.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's
That's
a lot of beauty over there.
Yeah.
A lot of historical things. There's so much to, I guess, see and experience. And you're right. It's so small,
Yeah.
so compact, and the cultures are different, and by these little areas, and it's interesting. It's something to experience for sure.
Yeah. And then I think, I don't want to build it up too much in my mind, but I think I like to eat when I travel, and experience those different foods,
Mm-hmm.
small towns, conversations, like what's your deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Very cool.
So,
That's funny. I was watching a video of, what is it, Isle of Man?
oh yeah.
And my wife saw me watching it, and I was like, this is just insanity. And she comes over and she's like, my goal is to get you over there
Oh,
for
really?
that. And I was like,
Wow.
I don't know if I want to be there. Like the amount of people that
True.
that flock to Isle of Man every
For that
year for
10
that.
days
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
I think it's like a week, probably
Yeah.
10 days or somewhere in that range. I was like, that's awesome. When I was younger, that was like the top of my bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
Was Isle of Man, but I think riding in Europe will be it'll be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd see the videos, and there's so many people in the adventure world
Mm-hmm.
over there
Yeah.
that are just doing all sorts of fun stuff, cool stuff. It seems like they've got probably the densest market of adventure riding in the
Mm-hmm.
world. I mean, that's what it seems to be from my perspective. at
Yeah.
least.
In the YouTube videos I watch, I'm amazed at some of the laws there as far as, I can't remember what it's called, but in a lot of countries over there, you can stay on someone's property as a right.
Oh,
You can pull over camp,
mhm.
for a day or two, and it's not only accepted, but it's your right as a passerby.
Yeah,
So that allows for a lot easier travel,
interesting.
So I'm kind of toying with, like, do I ship a bike over? Probably, that way I could have all my camping gear
Yeah,
and then a little more freedom, but that gets to be expensive.
maybe
So,
just ship your gear, and
yeah,
whoever
rent a
you're
bike.
renting a bike from, maybe kind of plan it around the type of bike you rent.
Yeah, or, just, and this is what I like about planning stuff, is it kind of, you just have to like zoom out, or because it's so expensive to ship and travel with equipment,
Yeah.
just go there, buy it,
Mm.
use it, give it, sell it,
Yeah, yeah, that's an option for sure.
I mean, this is just, I get kind of, blue sky, but just walk up to some campers and say, do you want my stuff?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
you can get a camping kit together for $200 or $300.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think my perception of the adventure market being large over there is the abundance of products and aftermarket support
True.
in that area.
Mhm.
So there's many things we can't find here in the U.S. and it's
Mhm.
like, well, they're doing it in Europe, or they have those over in Europe but not here.
Right.
So I think there's probably more resources in the country,
Yeah.
the countries over there as well,
Totally.
to make that more viable, essentially. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
And what's really intriguing to me, which is kind of like off of the motorcycle topic, but just to my person, is that you're trying to get away from the structure. Like you said, I'm trying to change that part of my brain.
Mhm.
Like I'm trying to unravel that. After this trip last week that we were on, how structured it was, and I was telling my wife about it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm going, could we do this just off the hip
Mm-hmm.
and just take it easy, like not worry about having to get to any place at any time? Just whenever it's time, we just pull off and
The answer is yes. Yeah.
set up, and yeah, the answer
Mhm.
is yes, but to let go,
I know.
that's the key. And there's power in that.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, one of my probably third or fourth solo trips, I was still learning like what back roads mean as far as time and miles.
Mm-hmm.
So I had on accident like a bigger day planned. So I'm riding, I'm tired, the sun's going down, I'm at a hip camp. I've got a hip camp booked, which are famously hard to find, and you know what I mean? And I'm
Mhm.
like, man, what if I can't find it? What if I don't get there? And then it kind of hit me, it's like I've got everything I need.
Right.
I don't all I'm renting is a
Space. Piece of ground.
and I'm like riding through a countryside. I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And it was just this like, but yeah, the reason I'm trying to deconstruct planning, and believe it or not, I celebrated, like, I didn't know anything about our trip, right?
Oh.
Ward had it planned.
Yeah.
I downloaded the tracks. So if I got separated per his request, I knew where I was.
Smart.
But other than that, I didn't know where we were going. And he even was like, well, we're playing tonight by, I think a year ago, I would have been like, I need to know where I'm sleeping. Like, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting better at that, and because like in my career, I get paid per day.
Okay.
And every day has a plan, and I have to be active in that plan and move that plan forward. And if we fall behind, get back on track, right?
Mhm.
So to deconstruct that has been very, it's been challenging but rewarding.
Yes.
But then I can't like throw my daughter on the back of the bike and not have a plan.
Yeah. It
You know what I
changes
mean?
everything then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe now she's older, we can kind of shoot from the hip. But what was I going to say? But I met a gentleman in Mexico, and it was one of those like, what's his deal, right? Because I'm riding a bike, but his bike is beat up, and it's a newer bike.
No.
And he's grizzly, and I'm like, so we were passing each other, and I was like, hey man, so we had lunch. I'm like, what you do? He's like, I took off from Texas. I'm like, where are you going? He goes, I'm not sure. I've got 6 months off.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, how does that work? And he goes, I'm like, what's your plan? He goes, you can't have a plan. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, if you have a plan and then you get waylaid because of weather, then the entire plan topples.
It does.
So you can't have a plan.
Especially in something more than a week.
Yeah. So I was kind of like digesting that a little bit.
Yeah.
But he slept behind someone's house the night before. And of course, he speaks the language and this and that. But I was like, that's pretty cool. So there's always, a friend of mine has a large boat. And I said, that's a big boat. And he said, there's always a bigger boat.
Oh, yeah.
So there's always a bigger adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like, okay, could I take off for 5 days without a plan? I mean, now it's just, I mean, you think about people who traveled in the 70s. I mean, pull out your phone. Where am I?
Right. Yeah. They didn't have that.
Yeah.
It was none of that.
Yeah. Point your phone in something and pay for it.
Mhm.
I've got money. You know what I mean?
We are
Yeah.
so much more ready for all of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
today than what was available then.
Yeah.
And people have been doing it as far back as they could.
Yeah.
It was doable.
Yeah.
It's been doable for at least 50 years.
Yeah.
Past 50 years.
We don't have to budget, like I'm out of money, I have to go, So to your point earlier, the construct is in our mind.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
Yeah.
And to undo that is empowering,
Exactly.
is freeing. Yeah.
Yep.
Which makes me want to do it.
Yeah.
After our trip and like kind of processing that, I'm like, I want to do like 5-6 days. Just let's go and kind of have some roads in the area, maybe go in that direction, but no real plan. No, where are we putting boots down tonight? No, who are we meeting? No, just kind of just go.
Yeah, because I think I'm starting to get ready to accept that, because like I was on a ride last fall, and me and my friend came over the Sierras out of like Lake Tahoe area, and they hit this plains, and then there's a sign to like, I don't remember where it was, but it was somewhere I always wanted to go,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 110 miles. But we had to be at this other place. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wow, if I didn't have a plan, I could just stop, take a look, go left,
Yeah.
and then go right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But kind of my point about Europe, America is pretty expansive.
Very comparatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
So that kind of like taking things off and just bopping around
Mhm.
is a lot more efficient in Europe.
Over there for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Europeans don't understand that either. They're
Yeah.
like, why do people? My wife was telling me that she was hearing this conversation. Like, why do people fly to Europe and then like want to go around and see stuff? Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense. And there was like this misunderstood perception of like how Europe is so small, and then the U.S. is just like massively expansive comparatively, and so like it's so much more convenient to go to Europe. You can pack so much in
Mhm.
that it may be a little more difficult to get to all that kind of, because it's so dispersed
Right.
in the U.S. You know,
Right.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, Texas is the size of, I don't know, Russia.
it's freaking huge.
It's
Texas is massive,
yeah.
man.
You can just pile all like Germany and Spain and,
Yeah.
you know, Switzerland, all that just in Texas. Yeah.
It's funny. Is there a bike that you put at the top of your desire list? Well, I don't call it unicorn anymore. I kind
Yeah,
of mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
But is there a bike that you kind of have in your sights or that you want, or are you pretty content with what you got?
Well, I set out when I started to spend money on bikes. And since I own a recording studio, my joke was I stopped buying microphones, mics, started buying bikes because they cost the same.
No way.
Yes, they do.
Seriously.
Like you don't have to work hard to spend 20 grand on a microphone.
This one didn't cost that
Yeah,
much.
well, I'm
I
talking about
promise.
recording.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You're talking about a different level.
So then, you know, anyway, so I set out to be like, I want a Triumph. I want, you know, a Ducati. I want these different experiences. And I think I've only got a couple left
Okay.
that are like a different riding experience.
Okay.
And one is a Norton from, this is a shameless plug, my friend at NYC Norton restores Norton motorcycles at a unbelievably awesome level, and he races them too. Anyway,
Wow.
I think a Norton would be really cool
Okay.
to have like a grumpy English bike
Mm-hmm.
with the sound and the, you know, it's like where Triumphs came from
Mm-hmm.
in my mind. And then I think prior to that, I would like a mid 40s Indian Chief with a suicide clutch and hand shift. Just to do
That's-
that, you know,
yeah.
saddle seat, the whole deal.
It's like a show bike.
Well, no, I'd like
around town.
almost like a Survivor kind of beat up one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just a different, like, okay, I'm going to shift. I got, you know,
Yeah.
foot. You know what I mean? Just a
I've been
different
intrigued
thing.
by it myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought about doing that to my Sportster just for like the experience, just for that. Like, this is different. You know,
Yeah.
kind of
Yep.
feel it, you know?
Yeah, and you can wrench on it and not worry about scratching it, and which I enjoy about my adventure bike. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just hit it with a hammer.
Beat
Yeah.
on it.
It's, you know.
Literally.
Yeah, right. So that's in those. You know, I think in Norton, non-restored, they're not too bad. 8, 9, 10 grand.
Mhm.
And then you take them to NYC Norton, and then they do the whole thing,
I see.
which I probably don't really have the money for, even though it's totally worth it. And I think a mid 40s Indian is 25 grand ish. So it's a stretch for me
Yeah.
for that kind of what I would call a low mile per ride bike,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's a
yeah.
collector's kind of.
Yeah. And I think that's what you might have meant by showpiece, is just something you can,
Right.
You know.
That is.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Something you ride to the show. It's a
Yes.
short ride.
yeah.
You talk to people about it. You ride it home.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't see 3,000 mile trips.
Correct. But what I like about that era of bikes is, and I have a boat motor that does this, where you have to change. It's got a lean rich mixture on it. You have to change as you are, you know, it's a 2 horsepower Evinrude, and like when it planes out and warms up, you have to adjust a mixture,
Huh.
and it makes you do that, right? And the older Harleys and Indians, of the 40s, you have to like adjust the ignition timing with your left hand. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So the startup procedures, this whole like,
Yeah.
slow the
It's a
timing
lot more
down.
involved.
Yeah. Shut the gas off, give it 3 kicks or whatever it is. So it's
Mhm.
this whole like get the thing going. So I think that'd be kind of fun to be more in tune with the bike,
You have to be
Yeah.
far more in tune.
Yeah.
That
Good. Yeah.
there's a lot more to go wrong, a lot more you got to be attentive to.
Yeah. Because I have, that's what I like about the differences in like the carbureted bike I have versus the, you can feel the distance between you and the mechanics
Mm-hmm.
of the bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
The Sportster I have
yes.
always got my ear on it.
Yeah.
Always. You got to.
What's going on? What's up? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do anything off the bike to train yourself for riding?
No. One of the reasons, two things, I guess, because I saw that question, I had to think about it. When I'm driving a
Mhm.
car, I'm always like, I don't say pretending I'm on a bike, but like I'm on a bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm a better car driver because of it.
Okay, for sure.
However, a couple of times I've like tried to merge when I couldn't have merged. You know what I mean?
Where the bike would have fit here.
When the traffic's backed up, I'll pull out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in a car.
Yeah.
And I can't. Anyway. And then I think one of the reasons I quit drinking a few years ago, and one of the reasons was, I found that even a couple beers, I was just a little foggy the next morning and wouldn't go ride.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, man, now that's the night's cutting into my day. So let's just, you know what I mean?
That's good
Not
thinking.
to think about that aspect of it,
Yeah. Mhm.
So
I feel it the same
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want? You want to get drunk now, or like, I mean, not necessarily drunk, but drink
Mm-hmm.
in the now, or do you want to and kind of ruin like what you could do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or you could still have a good time, just not intoxicated tonight, and you could have tomorrow,
True.
like all of it.
Yeah.
And so I've started to consider that balance myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I'm going to go ride tomorrow, I'm not sure I want to drink tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the heat of Nashville, in the summer, you have to ride earlier. You know what I mean, to
Yeah.
get a start on it. So then I found myself going, oh, I kind of got a headache, and then I wait till 9:30 to ride. It's like, no, it's too hot, and then I don't ride. I'm like, well, what am I doing here? So
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny moving up here from Houston.
Well,
That's where I'm from. And down there it was like 1 month a year that maybe you don't ride much.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Up here, it gets cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely gets hot when it's hot, but it also gets really cold.
True.
And so I've had to adjust my riding to that, which has been a whole eye-opening thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was thinking about though is like, you're from more north, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you, at least before you moved to Nashville,
Yeah.
it was probably even colder up there, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 So you probably had a shorter riding season, and then moving down here, you're like, oh, it's not so bad. There's a little bit more time to ride.
Oh, dude, it's one of the main reasons I've stayed in Nashville is just the climate.
Yes.
Like I'm the biggest heat baby there is. I do not like it cold. Like I was riding in Wisconsin, where I'm from, 2 years ago on 4th of July weekend, and I was wearing long johns under my riding gear.
Wow.
And there's people up there riding in shorts and flip flops, and I'm like, not that guy.
Yeah, right.
So this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
Middle America, where it's warm.
Yeah. I appreciate the weather here so greatly.
Me too.
Coming
Yeah.
from Houston, people were like, it's so humid here, you're gonna hate it. I'm like, dude, have you been to the Gulf? Like, you can't breathe down there.
Yeah.
This ain't bad.
And we get 3 seasons. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
You actually get the seasons. Like
Yeah.
right now, it's beautiful fall, and you get that down there too. But it stays warm,
Mm-hmm.
stays muggy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just really beautiful here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap on the
Dude,
interview, man.
This is fun.
Well, I really appreciate it, Chris.
Thank you,
Thank
Duke.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you for your
man.
time and sharing your story with everybody.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've got some content coming from the trip that Chris and I were on last week. We were out with a couple other riders. So stick around on the channel. Look for links in the description below to those, because I'll be sharing 5 days of storytelling with you guys.
Yeah. You can watch me get my butt kicked.
Yeah. Both of us. We all had our moments. That's for sure. Thanks for watching. Live free, ride hard, and I'll see y'all on the next one.